Last time on Desperate Attune, Mumtaz, Bidrohi's lover, turned up to the boarding house, to everyone's surprise, especially Moonlit's. She'd heard about the crew's business with Omid, and she'd come to them now with a very lucrative contract. Mumtaz was part of a group of performers called the Blue Smoke Troupe. She and her gang were putting on a supposedly esoteric play to lure in Salman and Kayat, a lower-ranking member of that noble house. To understand the play, Salman had checked out a book from the family library, and the crew were to steal this book. The job had something in it for almost everyone. Bidrohi would get to impress his girl, Mushfiq could use a payoff to get a personal butler, and Saeeda would have the opportunity to study a secret book. So, without further ado, the crew went about laying the groundwork for the score to come. As it happened, Saeeda was friendly with someone else from the Al-Qaeda family, the truth seeker, Shahriar. Saeeda found him at their usual fishing spot down by the reservoir, in Uduash's lower city. He couldn't tell her much of Fuse, only that Salman's fate tied him to this place, but he was able to help Saeeda ease her submarine burden. Bidrohi met Leo the painter in the sweltering chambers of the Playful Turtle. In exchange for a model for his paintings, Leo told Bidrohi that Salman was astrologically significant, and the Ankayat family had paid handsomely to adopt him into the family. Mushfiq got in touch with the chauffeur and racing enthusiast Rupal. The driver's gossip turned out to be very handy, as Mushfiq learned exactly how Salman gets around the city, and who would be driving Salman to the play the day off. And Moss, even though she wasn't promised any specific reward for the job, did her part by visiting Ifid, the Lordkeeper from the Dagger Eyes. Ifid recognized the play. It was a story of a god who had forgotten himself. Performed correctly, it had the power to restore and destroy memories. She gave Moss a trinket from the last time she had seen it performed, a peacock mask, and told her that it could be used to turn the Blue Smoke's sham play into one of real power. And now, on the eve of the play, we pick up the rest of the story.
Uduasha City, where the sun is a mirror and the moon a shadow, where dancers cavort in forbidden operas, making love to forgetting and flame, where the wealthy play at war with silver swords and silken sashes, where the people mine the dead heart of a burning star for cannonballs and pipework, and where 1,000 secrets hide in a forest of paper and ink. Here, the 5 keybearers reside, the 5 who know the secrets of the broken gates of death. 5 only. There is no 6th spire, forlorn and forgotten in the desert. There is no one who looks to the displaced, the poor and destitute and landless, whose ancestry has been stripped from them by foreign looms and foreign sparkcraft, and no one has ever heard of the House of Ending. But this is their story. Their roots pulled up and burned, they stand in filth up to their necks, and that is precisely why they must keep their heads ever high. Welcome to Uduasha, immigrant. May it fear the name of the house you will build. Welcome to Desperate Attune, an actual play podcast about characters with their identities in peril, played by an international cast devoted to fiction-first gaming, collaborative world-building, and complex character drama. Okay, shall we get to an engagement roll and then take a brief break?
Sounds good. We should talk about what the angle is.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, before we do that. Yeah, fair enough. So we have a couple of elements. To recap what we have learned, they are doing like a fake and shitty version of an actual magical play, but if you meddle with it, you could start screwing around with people's memories. If you get involved. The reason that they are doing this fake play is to draw out Salman, who is a really boring guy, but who has a book about Ypres and the Deep City or something in that direction. Like that's at least what his destiny is tied to. He is a spoiled rich kid who goes about everywhere by carriage. He may or may not have the book like with him or in the carriage as he attends the play. It's a bit unclear what the situation with that is, and that is, I think, something you will have to find out in the score. But he is absolutely going to try and decipher its occult secrets contained as the troupe performs it.
Would I be right in thinking that a play that might induce, nostalgia or something might also induce somebody born under a certain star to remember things that happened to, I don't know, somebody else who was born under that star?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh, okay.
absolutely. That's definitely a possible angle.
Okay, interesting. I don't think that Saeeda would ever recommend this, but I think what would be incredible is if we helped this guy find his destiny by performing the play correctly, so that he actually became in contact with his destiny. I think that would be incredible.
I mean, if you want to spin it that way instead of stealing the book, you absolutely can do this.
I'm just saying.
So how does this help us get the book?
See, he's a dork, and if we steal the book, I get to make out.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that
but
really
if
matters.
but he wouldn't be a dork anymore. He would be a badass, and he would be on our side.
Yeah, I find it very funny, by the way, that you still don't know precisely what the book is about. That's one of the things you didn't gather information on. You have some guesses.
Because my friend just told me some random shit, and then helped me a lot more with my own problem. So
indeed. But yes, basically the thing you've actually been hired for is to get the book, which contains probably, I guess it's a reasonable guess, right? That with the book you could do the actual thing the play purports to do, just because that's why he would have checked it out, to use it to decipher the play.
Oh, it might actually be his thing. That's what he wants to do, right? Is potentially see if he can use the book to get even more sexy, so you can get even more laid.
Yeah, probably. So the theater, Mumtaz's plan, is for this not to succeed and for them to just nick the book and for him to get away with nothing. But you don't have to stick to her plan.
And what we'll do is like a synthesis of both, where we'll steal the book, finish the play, and then give the book away.
Yes.
Listen, I have clear motivations. This guy is a poser. We have to do something about that. We have to show him that this is, you can't just go around pretending you're cool when you aren't cool. We have to do some gatekeeping.
Yeah.
I'm going to gatekeep, and I'm also going to steal the things so that I can have a makeout.
Yep.
These are my motivations.
Fair enough. So
my motivations are to get a butler. So if Saeeda can provide me with one instead,
How about a demon butler? I'm just saying, how about a demon that's forgotten who it is, and then it becomes your butler? That's my.
None of this takes us closer to the actual what we are trying to do. So I guess we have a couple of angles here. One of them is to infiltrate the play, which you can do because you know Mumtaz. If you say our plan requires us to be in the play, I'm sure she can get you some small role or whatnot. So that seems like one angle. The other angle seems to be his carriage. Try to steal his shit in the carriage or kidnap him or something as he's going to the play or leaving the play or something like that. And I guess the third is to get at him in the audience somehow.
We definitely have to get at him in the audience, and if the others want to be part of the play, to do the play as well, they can do that.
Okay.
Because it's so much cooler if we do it in public with other people watching.
Indeed. Getting the book and having someone on Kayat realize his destiny are not mutually exclusive.
No,
right?
No, they're not.
Yeah, they're not. So...
I think none of this stuff is mutually exclusive. It's just much of this stuff is already a reach. So if we want to do all of it, then we should be ready for the fact that we may be able to do none of it.
Yeah.
But I'm actually okay with that.
Yeah, I think this is a blade score, so we shouldn't overplan it. If our detail is infiltrate via the play, then that's our detail.
I agree.
If we have two possible goals, which is realize Salman's destiny and steal the book. The way we are doing it is by infiltrating the actual theater and figuring out where the book is and then getting it and so on. Maybe it will be in his lap, maybe his servant will have it, maybe he's left it in the carriage, who knows, but you'll find out from there, right?
Yeah. Let's infiltrate the play. Let's all get roles.
Okay. Excellent. So before
I'm gonna buy a ticket.
Yeah. Okay. Before we do the engagement roll, then let's straighten out load and who is where. So I think, who starting off with who is buying a ticket to be in the audience and who is in the play?
Saeeda is buying a ticket to be in the audience, and she's in light load on account of it's a play, and she's got to look normal.
Yep. Yeah. Very good. What about Moss?
Moss is in the play as an extra role, And she has arranged with Saeeda some sort of way that Saeeda can send her signals to do certain things if she needs to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Great.
Cool.
Fantastic.
Cool. Yeah. So you have stage directions from Saeeda. Yeah. I think the play is one of those, like when you play a bit roll like Moss is doing, you probably play multiple rolls. So you get off, you do a costume change, you get back on, and so on, which also gives you time to like sneak about and faff around behind the stage if you want to. Because you're probably not, you probably are on the stage only very briefly. You probably play various birds. I think the entire play is bird themed. So.
Wonderful.
It's bird themed.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the peacock god.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine, it's an opera, and a lot of operas are very symbolic. So I think probably Mumtaz plays like the main character, which is the peacock, and then you have a bunch of other birds that are in it doing various symbolic things as it goes.
Yep. I will point out that in our world building doc, or maybe this is in the Uduasha rework doc, there is a god called the Hupu, who is apparently the seneschal of the demon princes. Just a fun fact.
Yeah. We'll see where this goes. I wasn't planning for there to be actual occult significance to the play, but Moss made it.
I mean, it seems like it's kind of happening now. So
yeah. Absolutely. Okay, Bidrohi. Right, Moss. Light or normal load? I think that you could get away with normal load, but it's your call. Like, you will definitely be less subtle.
I think it has to be light load.
Yep.
And I have the mask, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is,
absolutely.
I've noted this down as a one load item.
Yep. Sounds good. It's just a perfectly normal mask outside the context of this play, but in the context of this play, it's definitely useful. So, okay, so you're on light load. Bidrohi, where will you be?
I want, obviously, the most prominent role I could get.
Okay, so you're going to be on stage 2?
Yes, of course. And I have rolled fortune to see what I could get Mumtaz to give me. And I rolled a 6. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm almost the hero of the piece.
Okay, yeah, sure. I guess you'll be another bird. Okay, you rolled a 6. You're the kingfisher. You're the kingfisher bird.
Nice.
Think of that what you may, as we know that there is a kingfisher god in Uduasha, or at least there was. But apparently the kingfisher bird is in the play.
What a delicious coincidence.
Yes. And what about Sher-e-Khattam? Are you going to be in your lion mask on stage, or?
I'm gonna be on stage, but yes, and I am playing a lion. Yes.
Okay.
A tiger.
Sure.
That's
All right. You're cast as the tiger. You had your own mask, and it's not a big budget production, so they were like, sure, yeah.
A tiger, like there wasn't supposed to be a tiger in this play, but
okay, yeah.
But
you
you brought your own tiger mask.
Look, just stand in the corner, don't do anything, don't say anything.
All right.
This is that like typical community theater experience where somebody is like, I have my own mask, and then the like prompt department is like, wait, and on the day itself you arrive and it's like, that's your tiger mask, okay.
Yes, I mean, to be clear here, the Blue Smoke Troupe is not one of the big boys of show business, right? Like, they probably had to pull quite a lot of strings to get Salman to get interested and attend and so on. So he is definitely slumming it by going to this performance. And consequently, it's a big opportunity for them. So, but getting their hands on this book, even bigger opportunity. All right, let's do engagement, and then we'll dive into the score after a break. I'm looking at the questions. First, is this particularly bold or daring?
I think so. He's a member of the noble houses. We're doing a public heist on him. We're part of the. We're on the play. There's an audience.
Yeah. So then there are 2 dice. Because you start with 1 for sheer luck. Is the operation complex or contingent on many factors?
There seems to be a lot going on.
I think so, because you're multiple goals. So yes. So back to 1.
Yeah.
Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they are weakest?
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, he's made of vulnerabilities.
Yeah. Okay, fair. I guess we can say yes to this, so that's 2 dice. Is the target strongest against this approach, or do they have particular defenses or special preparations?
Not at all, I don't think.
This man has never made a special preparation in his life.
No,
Yeah.
I guess not.
Of course
no.
he has. He's bringing the book to the play. That's the most special preparation you could expect.
Yeah,
No, I think.
But I don't think he's expecting anyone to steal it, so no,
Nope.
fair enough. So you're back to 2 dice. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight? I think they have, particularly Fed. So that's 3. Anyone want to volunteer their enemies or rivals to interfere? Do you have any art-loving enemies or rivals?
The Ustad J. Clev might be at this play. I'm just saying.
It
no
seems
comment,
to be beneath him. Seems to be beneath him.
Yes, maybe it's a bit beneath him. You're not wrong. It's not exactly highfalutin opera, clearly. So.
Yeah.
No.
Speaking of the word highfalutin.
Yeah, we have established actually in Udasha, most opera is regarded as pretty like vulgar. It's like entertainment for commoners. So
would Captain Peregrine turn up, perhaps? Is he into this kind of thing?
If you're volunteering Captain Peregrine to turn up, I absolutely don't mind. His job is to keep track of suspicious foreigners, and watching a play definitely seems like it would fall under that.
Oh wait, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to heist a member of the nobility with a cop. In a
I'm just asking, you know.
It's up to you if he is interfering or not. I think you can say that he is.
I think that will add a wonderful texture to this.
Okay, so he is interfering. All right, 2 dice. Captain Peregrine is there.
Also, keep in mind, like, we aren't completely off the hook with him, right? Like,
no.
Yeah, so it's also possible that he is tracking our movements.
Yeah, and it is again, his job is to track suspicious people who come to Udvasha from outside. Like Moss was on his list of suspicious people. Presumably, Ifede is too. So, like, when both of them are involved in this play, maybe he pays attention to that.
I'll go. He's actually competent. He's a competent cop. That's not good.
Yeah. Okay, so 2 dice. Are there any other elements you want to consider? Yes, there's a higher tier going on here, but I think I will actually not consider losing a die for this because you're getting help from the Blue Smoke Troop, who is a higher tier than you.
That's true. I was just gonna say we've established that like all of the noblemen and women get bodyguards by definition.
Yep, they do. And he will have one. So he will be accompanied by a bodyguard, and he will be accompanied by Vol, his cool driver. So
yeah. So it might be that like that's the tier that matters, that the tier of the bodyguard rather than like the guy himself. So. But maybe that's what's being like offset by. So we lose the die and then we gain the die, right?
Yeah,
like,
I think so. I think the fact that you have help from a more experienced crew here, right, pumps you up by 1. Because again, like the Blue Smoke Troop are not that good at beating people up or stealing shit, but they are absolutely good at dazzling people. That's what they do. So
yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. Cool. Then we have 2 dice for engagement, and someone roll them. I propose Bidrohi rolls.
Very good.
Yeah. So give us 2 dice and see what we got.
Glory be to the Kingfisher.
5.
A 5. We roll a 4 and a 5. All right. I will take.
The Kingfisher protects.
I will meditate on this. I will see you in 5.
Okay.
All right.
See you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So let me set the scene here. Why this is complicated. So we cut to the action. I have decided, and this is probably relevant for Moss and Saeeda to know. So I'm going to tell you a thing about the play now.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously part of this play is invoking by a certain name a certain thing, right?
Yes.
And so I will not tell you how to do this or when in the play you must do this, but I'm giving Moss and Saeeda the information that in order for this like magic to work, then you must draw the attention of a demon called the Flutterer, which is a demon of wings. It's not a demon of like birds or insects or air. It is specifically a demon of wings.
Wings. Very good. Okay.
And you must find some way to like actually invoke this demon, like speak one of its names or do one of its things, you know, during the play, for the play to have any magical effect.
Mm-hmm.
And the Blue Smoke Troop don't know how to do this. So if you just let them carry on, nothing will happen. But
Right.
if you do something to invoke it, then suddenly, like the aria that Mumtaz will sing or whatever, it will be charged with magic.
Do we know that this is a thing we need to do, or are we going to discover it? Like,
no, I think you know it because you had this plan of like tampering with the play to actually make it magical. So I'm not saying you know how to do it, but I just have that angle be there. You need to invoke the flutterer.
Maybe. Yeah, I like the idea that like maybe the like at some point when Saeeda and Moss return home, they have a conversation and they realize that like oh, maybe this demon is somehow like the thing that we need to like pay attention to, right?
I just thought I need to give you some way to actually make the play magical, like some concrete thing you can work with. So this is it.
Yes.
Makes sense.
And the other thing I will introduce is Salman. So we see the play open up, and we see. I don't think Mumtaz is in the opening parts. The opening parts is, as many operas are, there's like a long backstory thing where you need to know details. So the opening part is just a bunch of other birds. So everyone who's on stage like can be on stage. You have little roles to play. You fly about and basically do the Greek chorus telling the backstory for everything that is going on. And so you can see quite prominently Salman. And this play is, this is not like a traditional Western style opera we're imagining here. This is folk opera, right? So it's performed on a stage and so on, and people are seated. Probably most of them are seated on the floor or, by a table having a meal, etc. It's like a more chill and less formal situation. But Salman is seated somewhat to the side because he is a fine and proper man. He has a chair, and he is flanked by two people. So Salman himself is, much as you would imagine, he's like a young man, and he looks like plain and unexciting, I guess is the word to use for him. He looks normal. He's the kind of man who would disappear in a crowd, and he's dressed himself very ostentatiously to try to countermand this effect, and it somehow hasn't worked. It just draws all the attention away from his face and onto his clothes. He's a very forgettable man. He's sitting in a chair, and he's flanked by Vol, who is this fairly short, fairly ugly man with a broad mustache who is grinning and chatting with people around and is just generally like very gregarious. Probably Vol has talked to Saeeda too, just because he's that kind of guy. He just like talks to everyone in the audience before it begins, and they're like, oh, isn't this exciting? I'm curious about this play, etc., etc. And the third person is, I decided it's not Ustad Jaiklev, but it is one of their relatives. Because obviously he has a bodyguard, and that bodyguard is of the Falling Star School, your rival sword school, because why not? So there is a man who proudly wears the blazons of this style, which is a red sash, I believe. And he is a tall, broad-shouldered man with a wide waxed mustache. And you may or may not know him. I will leave that up to you, Saeeda, but he is watching very closely over Salman. And I think the setup is thus, that he has, like, Vol, the driver, is like partly tending to him, but he's very distracted by like chatting with people, checking out girls he likes, etc. So the bodyguard is just kind of standing there, and Vol is the person to like, bring me a drink or bring me such and such. So he's hired as a driver, but he, I think basically he volunteered to be a butler as well, just so he could see the play for free. So this little man is running around fetching all of Salman's stuff and like managing his bags and so on.
A butler, did you say?
Yeah, indeed.
New heist plan. We need to steal this guy.
Yes. So I think where we open on this, it's up to you where precisely you make a move. But I think where we open is when Vol is temporarily distracted away from his master, and I think he's distracted probably by Mumtaz taking the stage. I think that's a cool place to open. So he looks up and he sees this gorgeous actress glide onto the stage with her peacock feather dress and open her mouth to slowly and solemnly begin to sing, like her first, entrance song. She's going to have many, many more. And there is a silence settling in over the place where like none of the side characters have anything to do. All of the audience is like pretty distracted. And I think, it's a standard risky situation. So the ball is kind of in your court, but you have a moment where everyone is paying attention to something else.
Yeah, so, I think that like my plan, Saeeda's plan, is that obviously the best way to attract the flutterer's attention during an opera is to make a song irresistible, and she's got a voice for song, so she is hoping to set it up so that it works. But I think that like in order for that to occur, maybe what she's going to do first is like as she sees that there are two people sitting around this guy, she is going to lean over to the person who is also at her table, who is obviously, I think like Moss would have introduced us because we are we're both kind of on the same side, right? Like
so, Ifed is sitting there, and I think she is like, again, this is a fairly like folksy opera, so people don't have to be super dressed up, but it's still a night out, so they try. Ifed has not tried. She is wearing like her normal clothes.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna lean over to Ifede and say, hey, do you reckon that guy sitting next to what's his face? Do you reckon he's expecting anything to happen, or is that just like the way his face is stuck after so many years of guarding people?
Oh, a bodyguard? I don't reckon he's expecting anything to happen, although he's a pretty dangerous man, from the looks of it. I think I know him.
Oh, do you?
Heard of him. Yeah, one of those falling star types, isn't he?
Listen, I mean, they do all this stuff, everybody hears about how the falling star and all this. They're really not, okay? Like, they're fine. They know how to swing a sword.
I don't know. I've heard things about Hambirao, she says, and she nods towards the man.
You've heard things, have you? Well, let's see if you hear anything interesting tonight. But no, the reason that I'm asking you this is, do you think he would mind if I went and talked to Salman, or do you think not worth it?
Talk? I think you can talk. I think that would make him keep his eye on you. But I really wouldn't interrupt the play. The best part's coming up,
Yeah, no. We can wait for the interval. Yeah, okay. I feel like this is the kind of opera that has like 3 intervals.
Yeah. There are definitely intermissions. So I'm setting up one opportunity here to act like as everyone is distracted, but I guess you're not taking it. You're going to talk in the intermission.
Yeah, I think the thing is that like my concern is if I disrupt the play, then the ability to summon the demon is actually less. Like you want everything to go perfect, right? You want to just like gild the lily.
Yeah, absolutely.
So at least for me, I'm like,
yeah. What about the people backstage then? Because now is a moment where like you don't have anything to do as actors. You have relative freedom to move about or set things up or whatnot. No one's paying attention to you. So starting with Moss, I suppose. What are you doing now? And it's totally free to like flashback to stuff you've set up as well if you want to do that.
Yeah, I think up until this point, Moss has been kind of keeping an eye on the audience and hoping that Saeeda would like send a sign of like, hey, I figured out what we need to do exactly.
Yeah, that's not happened yet. Yeah.
Yep.
That's not happened yet. So in this moment where like all the actors are kind of just like milling about downstage, on the stage. I'm talking so that I hope that I would find something to do in my mind by the end of that sentence, but I did not.
what will happen here is that if none of you guys want to do anything now, that's totally fair. You can wait for an intermission, but I will start and tick a clock of just the play progressing.
Yeah, I think what I want to do is, as the play progresses, I want to study the play to see if I can understand what the best, the mood of the play is and that kind of thing. But I don't want to interrupt. I just want to observe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
In fact, I think I would have. Mumtaz may have noticed the Kingfisher, the male lead, standing in the corner and speaking to his friends. Actually, Moss, what are you disguised? What's your role?
A canary.
A canary.
Perfect.
Okay.
They have canaries in Uduasha? That's so interesting. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they don't, but they have them in this play. So.
Yeah.
So I'm conferring with the canary and the background extra tiger.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying, okay, here is cool plan. Okay, we need to draw out. We need to really call out this dork, this Salman, and we need to totally show him that he's a piece of shit. And then we beat him up, and then we steal his book.
Sorry, what was the plan? Say again.
The plan is that we totally beat this guy up and steal his book, right? But here's my idea of how we can do it.
Mm-hmm.
During my big scene, when I'm supposed to deliver this soliloquy about, where is King of Uduasha? If only we could find King of Uduasha. If only I could fish around for King of Uduasha. I mean, this is very stupid metaphor. I mean, Kingfisher is just a bird. It's not literally fishing for kings, I mean, who wrote this crap? Anyway.
I think the implication is that it's a king that's fishing, not fishing for kings.
But go on, during your soliloquy, you're gonna talk smack about astrology.
Because Mushfiq has a copy of the play, of the script open as well. He's just desperately trying to, he started off seeing, where are the speaking roles for the tiger that he's playing, and there are none.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But he's really
I think Bidrohi thinks about this, and then he's like, okay, no, you're right. Of course. I am, yes, how could I not see, okay. King needs crown, okay. And then he puts on his flower crown.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very good. Anyway, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to deliver the soliloquy, and we are going to do something very inventive and avant-garde. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The tiger, the background extra, no one's been looking at all this time, will leap forward and attack the Kingfisher. And everyone will be like, oh my god, we've been looking at this guy all this time, and we're like, why is that tiger there? It's not doing anything. Okay, we'll just ignore. And then tiger leaps forward. Oh my god. And then we have big fight, okay? And then I defeat tiger. I defeat the tiger, and then I challenge Salman to a duel.
Wait. You defeat the tiger?
Sher-e-Khattam, it's just a story. Only in a story can I defeat you, okay?
No. I don't know. I feel like the tiger would win, especially.
Okay, Sher-e-Khattam, how about this? To really sell it, we have an actual fight. And if I win, then I challenge Salman. If you win, you challenge Salman. Either way, Salman gets challenged, and then we totally beat him up and steal his book. Mosapu, what do you think? This is an intelligent plan, right?
She says, "This is amazing. This will not go wrong." And she starts making plans to just steal the book as the guy's perplexed by this weird challenge.
Mm-hmm. It's a good thing that you're planning on invoking an amnesia demon, because I think you may need it.
All right, Mushfiq ponders this for a minute and says, okay, look, I'll let you win the fight, but in exchange, convince Mumtaz, to give me at least one speaking line here. There's nothing.
Okay, what do you want to say?
He makes the motion of a paw with his right hand and goes, I want to say, how? Like that. I don't know.
Okay. You can do that. Sher-e-Khattam, I have an excellent idea. Okay. We use foreshadowing, but we also rely on audience's amnesia. Okay. In this first act, you are going to be in the corner and you're going to say, oh, how I wish I could kill this stupid Kingfisher with his stupid crown or something. and you're just going to say it, and then several acts will go and people will forget you said it, okay? And then you're going to bring it back with the action. So it doesn't look like it's just out of nowhere, you have like planted it in mind, but then they forgot. And then they'll be like, oh my God, now I remember.
Okay, like Mushafik isn't convinced about play.
And you can say how as well when you say it.
Okay. No, but for the sake of keeping things going, he accepts.
Okay, so now this is now
I like
we
how
have the
on
same
the score you start bickering about the play itself. That is just
no
a
progress
distraction,
towards doing the thing, but yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
This is
So
us.
you guys have a completely nonsensical plan to start a brawl. Let's cut back to Saeeda studying the play. I think studying it for occult significance makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's something you can do as it progresses. And then we'll get to an intermission. And then I guess after the intermission you have this fight.
Great. Fantastic. Yeah. What kind of position and effect am I at?
Risky standard. Like you can
What's
study the
the
play
risk
for
here, just
occult
out of
significance.
interest?
What?
What is the risk, just out of interest?
So the risk here is you're studying an occult play that hasn't been activated and isn't doing anything yet. But I think the risk is Ifede. She is sitting at your table and she may be trying to do things.
Yes, absolutely. I love this. Fantastic. Trade position for effect here.
Sure.
And I think maybe what I'm gonna do is even like bring her in on it a bit, or like not bring her in on it, but like not be quite as discreet about what I'm paying attention to, and she's obviously already aware. Right?
So
it's
you are
not
going
just
to be.
she might be doing. Yeah.
Okay. Here's how to make this desperate. To make this desperate, you will have to mutter under your breath names that you think are suitable for the flutterer.
Yes. Yes. Great.
And she will be able to hear them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can study the names of ancient powers, but I imagine this is like you pretty much have to recite some sort of mantra and like see which one clicks with you, right? Which one has like the right energy, and she will hear them recited, and that's why it's desperate.
Excellent. I love this. Yeah, absolutely. Desperate. Great. I'm gonna push myself for a die.
Okay.
I actually want to assist you, if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, please.
And what I want to do is like. I guess I've also been studying this situation, and I don't know as much as you do, but I can kind of like, from what I notice about the actors and what I notice backstage, kind of put together like places where I'm like, there seems to be a hole in the play here or there, and using our like communication sign system that we decided in advance, I'll just like sign to you like, wait, is this like a place where something should have happened or has been taken out?
Makes sense. So you go up on stage and you make the gesture of I should do something occult here, but it isn't in the script, kind of.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's great. I love this. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So desperate, great. 1 bonus die.
2, because I'm pushing myself also.
2. Okay. Yeah. Desperate, great. 2 bonus dice. Yeah, go for it.
Watch 4 1s appear as if by magic. Why do I never get 4 6s? You never know.
Oh,
it's a 6.
But you get E6 now.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing.
Not a single one, you fucking liar.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got a 2, so I'm just saying.
5, a 2, a 6, and a 4. It's a pretty good roll.
Yeah.
So if it observes you, but she learns nothing, she finds no purchase in a way that she can get her fingers on this mantra, and you recite names. And you try to study the names of the flutterer, and you have a special ability to learn the names of demons.
Yes, I do.
So I think the straightforward great effect here is that you just learn it, and you can tell me what it is.
Nice. Okay. I think that as I'm saying this to myself, and I'm like, it's like half in my head. Like it's almost like I think one of the reasons it's desperate is that it's unconscious, right? Like it's just. I'm not realizing I'm doing it, and then I think at some point, as I'm speaking and I'm thinking about Moss, I realize that like some names of demons are more like impressions or emotions rather than words, right? I realize that like the name of this demon is more like the wing that takes you a flight after a storm.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah. I think the great effect is just straightforward. Like you can invoke it now. You know how to call it. You got great effect. So let's not screw around with this.
The wing of light after a storm. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the reasons I think that she doesn't realize what I'm doing, is that I say the wing and then I stop myself because I know if I say it out loud, that's power, and I'm not a moron, right?
Yeah.
So I just stop, and then I will just turn around and say, "This is a play about wings," as if that's the thing that I've realized.
Yeah. Makes sense. And so, let's not screw around. No one else is doing anything before the intermission. So you study the first part, and you get this idea together, and you probably do it with the help of Moss. Like basically at the points where Moss makes this gesture, there's like an odd cadence in the music where it's like clearly something goes here, and you piece it together. And then there is an intermission.
Yeah.
Are we staying with
during
Saeeda?
the intermission? During the intermission, I know actually what I want to do, which is I want to flash back to me and Moss having agreed that like there is somewhere that maybe that discrete that we can meet that like both an actor and an audience member can get to.
Yep, absolutely done. I don't think there's any stress in this. This just makes sense as a thing you can do.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna make my way to like I don't know, like an alcove or something. Maybe like there's just a bar and it's not very difficult to like get a drink and pretend that I'm going somewhere, but in fact what I'm doing is I'm going to find Moss.
Yeah, again, it's like community theater vibe, right? So if an actor walks out and has a drink, no one really reacts.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say that as you are doing this, you will notice Vowel disappearing during the intermission.
Oh, I will notice this and I will keep this in mind. Yeah, great. Okay. So I think when I see Moss, I'm sipping on like some kind of clear, something like a gin and tonic, right? Like clear spirit. And I will look at Moss and I will say, I know its name. Now all we must do is figure out when is the right time for a song.
All right. And this is a song that you're going to sing? Because then we need to make some space for that.
Well, what I think really has happened is that they've just removed some bits from the song. So it's not about me singing the entire thing. It's just me singing instead of the silence that they've put in. And well, you know the play better than me. So do you reckon there's a moment, probably, towards the end of the third act, maybe?
Okay. So are you planning on singing this from the audience, or does it have to be sung as part of the play?
I think that depends on how it like shakes down. I think ideally, of course, I would be on stage. But if I could get away with not being on stage, that would be great.
Okay. I mean, we can just put you in my canary, like.
We have a canary. The canary should sing.
But that's true. But also, there is there is someone looking for lines, and kind of just forgotten about.
No, I gave you lines.
Yeah, but it would be fun.
These are better lines.
The tiger just starts singing randomly, and he sings a demon summoning song.
And then you attack.
Yeah. And then I attack. There you go.
Okay, how about this? How about like I feel like both Mushfiq and Bidrohi, if you want, you can like join us as we're doing this. I think Saeeda wanted to be like, hey, is this going to be me and Moss as the adults? Or like one adult and one half adult. But it doesn't have to be us. It could be anyone.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Bidrohi literally will not be able to resist, like, in the middle of the play, heading out into intermission to mingle with the audience and be like, oh, no, no, you should know. I mean, I was just born with it,
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think maybe I will wave at Mushfiq, and if you come by, I will say, so Moss tells me you don't have any lines at all. Is that true?
Me? Oh, yes. I can't believe it. They put a tiger in this play, and they have the tiger doing nothing.
Yeah, I told Momtaz that about the foreshadowing and all that, and she just told me to shut the fuck up.
Okay.
See, I mean, I thought this was a serious production, but clearly I was wrong.
Listen to me. I can give you the perfect line for the perfect moment, and it will bring everything together. But the really important thing is that I have no doubt you have some plan. You have some scheme. You have some, I don't know, incredibly complicated set of circumstances. And you need to only do that after you sing the line that I give you.
Yes. Yeah. No, it wasn't complicated. I was just going to leap out of the bushes. The Bidrohi would kill me, not for real, but in the play, and then he would attack Salman.
I see. Okay, you were going to do that after this. Do you understand that? And I think she's just just ignoring all of this nonsense just come out of Mushfiq's mouth.
Auntie, that's even better. If you can give him something really cool to say before he attacks me, that's oh my god. Because we are missing the foreshadowing right now, you see.
Yes. Okay. Very good. Moss, when do we need Mushfiq to appear?
I suppose it needs to be during the final song of the Peacock. Considering it's the Peacock that forgets. The Song of Forgetting, I suppose, is where this happens.
Yes, this makes sense.
The song where the Peacock forgets.
Great.
And do you feel now your friend? And I think Saeeda quickly looks back at where Ifede is just to make sure that she hasn't disappeared, and says, "Your friend's given you a mask. That's important, right?"
It's probably important. Yes, I nearly forgot.
Don't forget. Now, Mushfiq, you don't want to not be a tiger, right? You were very set on the tiger?
It's the only costume I had.
Well, you could be a peacock, and let me tell you, the peacock is the protagonist of this play. So if you would like to be a protagonist.
But Mumtaz is the peacock.
Yeah. Yes.
No, but Mumtaz doesn't have the real peacock mask, though.
No, he doesn't have this real, beaten up but occultly infused mask that you do.
Yes,
but Sher-e-Khattam does have a occult.
He does. He does have a magical mask. It's a different
the tiger mask is okay. Yeah. So in that case, I think what I'm going to do is I will look at Moss and say, "Here's what we're going to do. You wear the mask at the right time. Our little Sher will give you the signal to sing at the right time, and when it comes to it." When you wear the peacock mask and sing the name that I'm about to give you, remember only one thing. They threw Prince Khattam into the wilderness after it was done.
Oh dear.
Excellent.
All right. Yes. One question.
Yes.
When are we getting the book?
The book will naturally land in our hands once we do this.
Wonderful. Okay.
There is no question.
All manner of things will be well.
Well, yes.
Only need
exactly.
Okay, good. So you scheme to do this very weird thing.
Yep.
And let's see. What does Bidrohi do during the intermission as he mingles around?
Mm-hmm. I get a jug of wine, the best wine that I can find. Mm-hmm. Well, not the very best, because I think there's good wine here. Yeah. Decent wine. And I approach Salman. Salman's table.
Yeah, in the intermission. He is approachable.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, before you do this, I think I'm just going to once this conversation ends, I'm just going to grab you and say, that man Vol has disappeared. So if you want to get Salman alone, now's your best shot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to give him some of this wine, and we're going to have a nice little chat. I'm going to set him up so that he can fight me.
Yep. All right. So you're going to talk to Salman. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And he does not have this book before him, but in the intermission, he's looking down over his notes that he has been taking on the play, and he gazes over them. He's kind of busy with that, but this is a social occasion, so he does recognize that he has to talk to people. And so as you approach and set down the wine, he absentmindedly goes, thank you.
Yeah. You are Salman Ankayat, the guest of honor.
Yes, I am.
I hope you are enjoying our show very much.
It is adequate. Thank you.
Yes, I agree. Listen, I have been telling them that this show, it's okay, it's adequate, but what we really want is to do a show that will rock everyone's tits off.
What? It's just what he says.
No, you. Okay, and to rock everyone's tits off, we have to go real avant-garde. We have to have a real free flow. We have to break down this audience and actor dialectic. You see, we have to be the stage is level. We are horizontal. Everything is all all of this is the play. Okay, this is the play right now. Our conversation. This is part of the script. Listen. Here's what's going to happen. There's going to be a song. There's a tiger is going to jump at the kingfisher, and I'm going to fight off the tiger. And then I am going to invite a member of the demon houses to come and claim the rightful throne of Uduasha, because I am the kingfisher, you see. That's going to be you. And this is what you're going to use for this, okay? And I'm going to give him a sword.
He says, mysticism. Very good. I was wondering when we would get to the mysticism. A sword? And as you pick out the sword, I think there's a roll, because his bodyguard will definitely pay attention to a sword being waved around in his charge.
I'm giving it to him in the least menacing manner possible.
Yeah, which is why this is only risky and not desperate.
Yes.
But I think it's risky limited, not because Salman thinks this is an outrageous proposition, but because he really is a very boring and small-minded man. And so, his idea of getting fully engaged with the play, he's not creative enough to be a real mystic. So you start with risky limited. Where he can accept that there is some participatory role for him to play, but he won't be enthusiastic about it, because that's not how he rolls normally.
Okay. Yes, I'm going to hand him the sword and say, and listen, this is just between you and me, because you and I, we are peas in a pod. We are two bananas next to each other in a bunch with no other bananas around. It's just us. I will tell you. The lead actress, the Peacock, she's been talking about you non-stop, 24/7. It's really annoying when I'm getting jealous, but I can suspend jealousy for a bro. Okay, you do a good job, and you know.
You can use this.
I can see that you know.
Absolutely. While you're talking, he dutifully writes down in his notes of the mystic significance of the play 2 bananas.
Yeah.
2 bananas in a void, sans other bananas. What could it mean?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to sway. I think maybe I traded position for a fact, because now I think he's expecting sexy times with Mumtaz.
Yes, sure. Sure. Let's call it desperate standard for setting him up in this way.
Desperate standard. I'm assuming this ability of mine didn't fire. I mean, I have been performing for him all this time, but
I don't think so, because you have been I don't think you're trying to do it. Your ability does not apply, but I will offer you a devil's bargain.
Yes.
And it's his bodyguard, Hambirao, will recognize that you are, just by the way you move and by the fact that he is an experienced warrior and watcher, he will realize that you are actually trained in martial arts, just from how you've been moving on stage and how you're handling this sword and so on. And he will recognize that this is, this may be a stage fight. My ward is not really in danger, but he will know that, like, you are a threat, and he will keep a close eye on you.
Excellent. I want him to know.
Yeah.
Tell all your friends.
Mm-hmm. Cool. You can take this devil's bargain, and basically the bodyguard will no longer be like, oh, that's just an actor. He will be like, that is a very deadly actor indeed.
Mm-hmm. Cool. We shall have a fight with him and figure.
Mm-hmm. The actor of doom.
Yes. The actor of doom.
By the way, just to kind of set things up a bit more,
have
we noticed Captain Peregrine yet?
Nope.
Okay. Good.
He's here, but he is a subtle man.
Ah, he's going to be the real person who's going to leap onto the stage from the backgrounds in the shadows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's move on, because other people have things they want to do in the intermission. Let's wrap this up real quick then, and say that you roll a 6 on your desperate standard roll. And so he is, you get what you want, basically. Salman forgets about his notes. He gets distracted from this whole quest of understanding the mystical play, and he gets distracted by the sexy lady. And he goes like, yes, I will sword fight to impress her. How clever.
It's great idea, boss.
Yeah. Yes, he returns to his notes and he writes down, sword fight, great idea, boss. Next to 2 bananas. And let's see what Moss has to do, and then we will go to Mushfik, who also has something to do.
So I think I'm kind of thinking about, like, it's gonna be real weird if the peacock is gonna sing, if Mumtaz is gonna sing, and suddenly this random extra is just gonna be there and singing lines through her, right? So it's gonna be more or less like a special effect, like voice from nothing, and I will hopefully make it seem like it's completely intentional in the play. I hope she will play along, but that doesn't mean I need to be hidden somewhere. Fortunately, the best hiding place is plain sight, especially when you can stand still and become invisible.
Okay, you have the ability to stand still and become invisible. Excellent.
I mean, you wrote this playbook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I just didn't know you'd taken this ability. That's awesome.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and make it look like it's this kind of like little intermission amusement as people are coming back into like the stage room, into the audience. I'm just gonna walk on stage, kind of staying near the back mystically with my runic staff, and I'm just gonna stare at the audience and do nothing for an inordinately long time, and then I'm gonna wait for someone to cough or something, and all their attention to be very briefly taken away, and when they look again, I'm gone.
Awesome. Okay, so this is a special ability, and it costs you 2 stress to become invisible, and another stress to make it last for a few hours rather than a few minutes, which...
Yes.
So I think you spend 3 stress, but you do it.
Yeah, probably a 4 stress, because I'm going to be doing movements, i.e. singing.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so 4 stress to become perfectly invisible to all but supernatural senses, just standing on the stage. Moss just fades into the background somehow.
Yes.
Which is, very cool. I guess I'll ask Mushfik what Mushfik is doing next.
Yeah, so mechanically, I forget, is there something that I can do, to set myself up, or to prepare for an action later?
Totally can. You can make a setup action roll for yourself if it's something that requires a roll, or you can just do it and get better position and effect later.
All right, because what Mushfik is doing is he's doing a bit of stage engineering to make the spot that he's going to jump out of, Yeah, like even better. Like he's adding more props over there, so he can be like really well hidden.
All right, I think I'm tempted to make this a roll, but I think you can just do it just because people aren't paying that close attention to what is going on. Like, if you want to set up some more props, fine, as long as no one trips on them.
Poor Mumtaz.
Yeah. If you guys don't give her the book, she's gonna be real mad because you're messing with the play a lot for very little tangible benefit so far.
Well, it's a huge tangible benefit to me personally.
Yeah.
Okay. No. I do want there to be an element of risk here. So let's say instead of just adding props, like maybe I'm messing with their props. Like I'm. Okay. So if they have a tree prop, I want to fall out of the tree. Like
sure.
And okay. I'm like adding rigging to it and all that.
Okay, it sounds like you're tinkering, and I think I guess it's standard effect. Definitely, let's call it. Okay, let's call it risky. You've gotten me there. You want to tinker with the fake tree? Go ahead. So risky standard for tree tinkering.
Assist you.
Okay, thank you. Because I don't have any. I have no die.
Mumtaz, think about how awesome it'll look when this beast of a man, and I don't say that lightly. Okay, this beast of a man jumps down from the tree. We need to give him a tree.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you have assisted in the sense that she is more okay with this idea.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Or I have involved myself in the possible consequences.
Yeah. Very good.
Any
so
chance
with a bonus die. Yeah, sure. I could offer you a devil's bargain. Okay. Your mask. What manner of magic is in it? It's a spirit mask, yeah?
It's spirit mask. Yeah, I think we just said that it's there to like either help me see spirits that are invisible, or I think that's what we landed on.
Here's your straightforward consequence, or devil's bargain. You will be hanging out in this tree wearing your spirit mask, and I think the devil's bargain you will take is that whatever occult things happen, you will see them, and they will be incredibly distracting. You're like in the perfect vantage point for it, and the supernatural things, according to your plan, will happen before you leap out. So.
Oh, but that doesn't really give me the fate I'm looking for, does it? Because I'm trying to set myself up so that I can do it very well, but the distractions will make it so that I can't.
Yeah, you will be able to do it very well, but there will be distractions, is all I'm saying.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
I basically, if you take this devil's bargain, you will be exposed to the supernatural consequences down the line, if any are generated.
Okay, yeah. I'm down for that.
Okay.
Let's do it. Okay. Let us. Rolling Tinker. You said risky standard.
Yep.
And I've got 2 dice now. Isn't that nice? And that does it.
Another 6. Okay. You were up in a tree. Ready to pounce and completely change the nature of this play. And I think I have my spot for a cliffhanger now, actually. So the intermission ends. I think you didn't have anything else to do during the intermission. Right? Yeah. And so people return to the stage, Saeeda returns to her seat, and so on. And Mushfiq is up in his tree, waiting for this opportunity to pounce, and he surveys the audience, and he sees the landscape. And then, from your elevated point, you can see at the very, very, very back of the room is Mr. Vole, the driver, your acquaintance. And he is showing a blue, ancient, leather-bound book to Captain Peregrine.
No!
No!
We were the only people after this very stupid man. Excellent. Very good.
Yeah. I think that is what's going on. None of you paid any attention to Vole. I felt like I flagged him as like a relevant guy quite a lot. But y'all are like,
let our characters scare, you know?
Yeah.
I was just so happy that I discovered the devil's name, to be honest. A, and B, my character is actually the one least interested in the book itself. Because maybe I could just turn this demon into my friend now if I do the playwrights.
Yep.
Yeah. Excellent.
Listen, we'll figure it out.
Yep.
First, I get into show business.
Yep. Oh, I thought when you said first I get into show business, that was the first stage of a multi-stage plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will also say there was a reason for your characters to pay attention to Mr. Vole. He was the guy ferrying all of Salman's stuff around, which of course includes the book. But
yeah.
Oh well.
No,
It's okay,
it's the kind of thing that seems very obvious in retrospect.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm focusing on my stage career.
Yes.
I have my priorities straight.
Yeah, it was a fun score. I feel like we started off a little bit like, okay, we're on stage. What do we do? Like, we didn't. We should have cut ahead one more step, I think, to the action rather than just like.
No, but I think it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think we still had. I just love the theater, so like I love being in that space in the mind, and B, at least Saeeda like would not have got to study if we hadn't started there. So like for me, it was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like the score hasn't ended yet. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
No, of course. Yeah, we're
going
about
to summon a demon.
Yeah, you're about to summon a demon with Captain Peregrine in the room, looking at the book that explains how that works. So that's interesting. Yep.
It's gonna be fine.
Here close the doors to the House of Endings. Those who dwell within are Zoheb, called Klow, Aadiyat, called Soap, Soumithri, called Tree, and Emma. I have been Prince, your host. Our city of Uduasha is based on Blades in the Dark by John Harper and Evil Hat Productions, with special thanks to Johnstone Metzger. Follow us on Twitter or support us on kofi.com/desperateattune. If you want to engage further with us, we also have a Patreon at patreon.com/desperateattune, where you will get our newsletter, extra content, and updates from Uduasha.
Next time on Desperate Attune.
And so on the strike of Mushfik's triangle, there is just a sense of complete and perfect harmony passing over the stage for a moment, as in the distance, and to everyone watching, this probably just sounds like a flock of birds just lifted all at once off the roof. And you hear this dramatic fluttering of wings, of like a huge flock taking off all at once, which times perfectly with the music. And then some stuff is going to happen.